in your own words, what would you say FSD is?
Oh man, full self-driving is basically having a computer drive your vehicle, basically do all of your lane tracing from point A to point B. As simple as that. That's what full self-driving is.
Really that simple?
It's that simple. It is really that simple. How
Nice.
well can the computer use the steering wheel to follow a line? And that's it.
Wow, I like how you simplified it there. So why is FSD so important? Why is it important?
Well, I'm really trying to tone it down a bit, but full self driving is really important because this is something that will potentially revolutionize the way we think of travel, the way we think of shipping, or just transportation in general. Meaning, people have been working on cracking the code of driving for the last 20, maybe even 30 years to have a computer do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, people have been using the brute force method.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't say that word. Oh,
that's a
shoot, I'm
that's
so
a
sorry.
that's a tongue twister.
Yeah,
But I know what you're talking about. The brute
yeah,
force method.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the brute force method. So they've been trying to use that method to have the vehicle track, where they need to go in the road. It wasn't until around 2012 where they introduced something called machine learning, where they can have a machine go through and label different parts of the road so that they can correctly navigate. And what do I mean by machine learning? Well, if you send a list of pictures, the system will need to identify what those pictures are. And so the traditional way is, hey, if I give a computer a cat, would it be able to decipher this cat from another picture of a dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as time goes on, the more pictures of cats this computer receives, the better it is at identifying a cat.
Yep.
And
Yep.
full self-driving is now at the cusp of mastering what a cat is, or being able to correctly identify what it needs to see and apply those corrections to steering inputs.
Mm.
And once you do that, it's more of a data problem to where you
Mm-hmm.
just need more information so the computer can understand certain edge cases.
Mm.
And once that's figured out, transportation as we know it will change, because there's no longer the case of, oh, I'm just going to, you know, take a road trip from Cincinnati to Atlanta. Now it's, I'm going to wait until it's bedtime, get in the car, go to sleep, and wake up in Atlanta, right?
Wow.
When you can
Wow.
do that, think of all the other things you can do. So now, if you want cookies at 2 in the morning, you can have a vehicle bring you cookies automated, right? There's no driver, so you don't have to worry about the cost of a driver. You don't have to worry about the restaurant sending it off at the wrong time or sending it to the wrong address, because your information is in the system and you can get it almost instantly. I mean, you can just go from there as far as what the beneficial parts of having autonomous vehicles are.
What would you say worries you about this future of FSD? And also, what would you say is the competition to Tesla taking us to this future of full self driving?
What worries me about full self driving
Mm-hmm.
is when it's implemented. We don't really know when it's going to come. However, we do know that it is.
It is coming. Yep.
Yeah, that's the biggest worry for me. As far as the accidents that could potentially happen due to the unit driving autonomously, I'm not too concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. No matter what you do, there's going to be accidents that occur. I don't care if it's perfectly autonomous. there are going to be areas where the system can't handle, and it will cause an accident.
Mhm.
I don't want anyone to say that it will be perfect and it will never crash. It's not true. However, I will say that the crash rate for these full self-driving vehicles will be significantly less than those of vehicles that are driving by people.
True. True.
Computer or autonomous vehicles don't drink alcohol. Autonomous vehicles don't.
Yep.
They don't look at their cell phone, and they don't do reckless things.
They don't text and drive.
Cell phone, text and drive. You're not going to catch an autonomous vehicle going 120 miles an hour down the interstate, right? It's not going to happen. So that's the safety aspect about it. Now, another person would argue that the system, because it's a computer, I use my cell phone, my Windows PC, it crashes all the time. And so this is going to glitch in the middle of the intersection and start doing donuts and run into a pole. I can't say that won't happen. However, I will say that if you have that thinking where your laptop is developed the same manner a full self-driving chip is developed, you're misinformed. Same with your cell phone. The reason why I feel like the autonomous vehicle will be safer than a standard PC is because, and this is where we're getting into your expertise, when you're developing the hardware and the software simultaneously, meaning the hardware guy and the software guy are in the same room rubbing elbows, this system is going to be efficient in a way that a cell phone or a PC simply cannot be. So there will be significantly less crashes. It will be significantly more efficient, and it will run at a longer rate before it needs to do a reset.
I agree.
And if anyone is looking for some sort of competition, you always want to go back and check and see, okay, well, what are you using for your chip? Okay, you have a company who's making your chips, but you didn't design it. And then you're going to have another company that's helping you design the software, and you're going to put that together. You may run into problems when it comes to it's foggy, but it's hot and the chip overheats. You might run into problems there. Whereas a system that was designed brick by brick with the hardware and the software working hand in hand, it's going to be tough to compete against someone who does that.